Hey, it's your friendly ex-Muslim responding to these two Muslim women about morality.
Things are okay because you don't have any objective morality. That is absolutely absurd.
Okay, so we're going to explain this one more time. As an atheist, you're in no position to critique anyone else's morality because it's inherently contradictive. As you mentioned in your video, you said that atheists are not a homogenous group, so therefore your morality is subjective. As an atheist, you can't use morality as an argument to disprove anybody else's religion, because according to you, your morality is subjective to you, and our morality is subjective to us. And that's exactly the point. Your morality only applies to you, and no one else. We're not saying that atheists can't be moral. All we're saying is that you, as an atheist, cannot project your morals onto anyone else. Therefore, you can't use your morality to disprove someone else's religion. So according to your standards, you might as well go delete your TikTok account. Because all of the morality arguments that you've made against Islam are completely invalid. This is the first and last time we'll be responding to you, because no Muslim takes you seriously. Your arguments are child's play.
So when you say our morality is subjective and yours is objective, couldn't I just make my morality objective too, just by saying that it is objective? You're just saying yours is objective. That doesn't make it objective. You're just claiming that it comes from God. That doesn't make it objective. I can claim my morality is from God too. God whispered in my ear through an imaginary, sorry, I didn't say imaginary, through a real fairy that my morality is the best and the only true objective morality. The Church of Flying Spaghetti Monster, as we call it as atheists, it has the true and perfect morality for all human beings. It's an objective morality because you see it came from the true God. Now, I could say this and you'd laugh at me, just like you say your morality is objective, and I'd laugh at you. Just saying it's objective does not make it objective. We even have examples where things changed in the lifetime of Muhammad. According to your morality, is muta, temporary marriage, is it moral or immoral? Tell me. If it's immoral, then why did Muhammad allow it for a period of time? Did God change his mind? He went from allowing it to disallowing it? And there's other examples too. I just gave you one example. There's other examples like that too, where at one point it was haram and then it became halal. It was considered immoral. It's considered wrong to have sex with your wife in Ramadan until Allah revealed that it was too difficult for the believing men and women, I guess, so that it's now halal. So you can sleep with your wife in Ramadan. I mean, not during the day, during the night. So we have a religion that changes its rulings. In the beginning, alcohol was fine, and then at the end, alcohol was haram. Riba was fine, and then riba became haram. But certain things stayed halal. For example, slavery. Slavery stayed halal until after Muhammad died. And we even have examples of Muhammad benefiting from the system of slavery, and Muhammad enjoying the benefits of slavery, selling slaves, buying slaves, sleeping with female slaves. In fact, the companions were horny and they wanted to sleep with the slaves, the captives of war, rather, slaves. And so they asked Muhammad and they said, can we pull out? Because we don't want to make them pregnant. We want to enjoy them and then we want to sell them. According to your objective morality, there's nothing wrong with that. Would you allow your sister, your daughter, your mother to be a slave? To be put in this awful situation where, one of these warriors captures her and does what he wants with her and then sells her, right? When he's done, he can sell her, right? After the iddah period, the waiting period. This is all objective morality according to you. But what is morality? Morality is the well-being or how we behave to benefit the well-being of other conscious creatures, right? How I treat others is morality. If there was no consciousness, if there was no conscious creatures, there would be no morality. And we don't judge the morality of animals because animals They don't have the same level of self-rationalization as we do. They don't have the ability to evaluate ethical decisions. They just eat. Like, for example, a cougar will eat a rabbit or whatever, and we don't say that was immoral. Like, poor rabbit, he killed a rabbit. No, I mean, they do lots of things like that which we would cringe at. As humans, we don't do those things because we have morality. We can reason to make a better world. And there is a fatal blow to all religious morality, which is Euthyphro's dilemma. Look it up. Let me ask you a question. Are things good because they're good, or are actions good because God said they're good? Okay? If actions are good because God made them good, then does that mean God can make bad things good? So can God actually rule that plucking out the eye of your firstborn son, as an example of Sam Harris brings up, can that be a moral thing to do because God made it moral? No, it'll never be good because it makes the child suffer, it's harmful, it takes away from his fulfillment of his life. So we all understand that the goal of morality, or it should be the goal, is to increase well-being for everybody, to make the world a better place, to live in a way that our actions do not harm others. And that's what the moral sphere is. It's that we don't harm other people unless, and of course we have to, in order to, say, protect ourselves, or in order to prevent another injustice from being done. So it's not like pacifism has problems too, because if you just don't do anything, then of course evil people will bulldoze over the rights of the innocent. So, when you say you cannot project your morality onto anyone else, well, what would we evaluate morality then on? If we go by what you're saying, well, you can't project your morality on us either. But isn't that what Islamists try to do? Isn't that what Islam tries to do? لِيُدْهِرَهُ عَلَى دِينِ كُلِّ وَلَوْ كَرِهُ الْمُشْرِكُونَ. Like, to manifest itself over all other religions and ways of life, despite what the disbelievers or the mushrikeen, despite the disbelievers hating it. This is the goal of Islam. It says in the Quran that it's to manifest itself. Muhammad used jihad to spread the religion all over. His dying wishes included to fight the Romans. He said to Osama bin Zayd to go and fight the Romans. Right? That was his dying wish. To kick out the Arabs, the polytheists, the Jews and Christians from the Arabian Peninsula. So you see that Islam is a nasty system that wants to, put itself onto our lives. It wants its morality to be on everyone else. Whereas morality should be something that, everyone will have their own values and teachings, but we cannot harm others by our morality, by our values. So Islam takes away the rights of others by forcing hijab, making it the law. If just look at one of these extreme groups like Taliban, how they force people to grow beards, and they forced hijab. Or like, look at Saudi, look at how oppressed people are over there. Look at how life can be so miserable for a woman in Egypt that she gets a divorce. The custody goes to the man. She doesn't have inheritance rights like the man do. Like, the women in Egypt have been fighting for equal inheritance for a long time because Islam takes away the inheritance rights. So Islam is actually a bad system of morality, right? It is a system of morality, but it's a bad one. What's much better is humanism, because humanism strives to optimize for human well-being. And then we're talking at the same level. We're on the same page when we're talking about human well-being. We can say that, okay, this is bad for morality, forcing hijab, it causes hair loss, and it takes away from, the full freedom of living. And it takes away from a woman's right to be herself, to dress the way she wants to, right? If she wants to wear it, that's a different story. But to force it, to make it the law, right? To mandate certain things like that. Everyone should have the right to choose for themselves, stuff like that. You know what I mean? So this is where Islam is bad, because Islam, what it does is it looks at the needs of the group of Islam over the needs of the individual. And this is where it falls apart. And, of course, it favors men.
Therefore, you can't use your morality to disprove someone else's religion.
We can use morality, because you are claiming, and when you say you can't use your morality to disprove someone else's religion, sure we can. If you're claiming your messenger, your prophet, was the best prophet to exist, the best man, you are setting him up as an example to be evaluated. You're asking us to evaluate him as the best man. You're making a claim. You can't just say he was the best man according to his own values. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. Could I say I'm the best man according to my own values? I'm the best man that ever... Abdullah Samir is the best man that ever lived according to his own values. That's nonsense. So we have every right to evaluate, because otherwise, when you say that, people say that Muhammad was Al-Amin, the best man, the honest, the truthful, Sadiq Al-Amin, you are saying that we should evaluate his behavior. You are giving us the opportunity to judge him, because you are claiming that even the non-Muslims used to say that he was the best man. So then what are we judging him on? On Islamic values? Come on. This is like such common sense that we all know that the non-Muslims were judging him on his behavior in that society according to what they understood to be good. When he went and married his adopted son's ex-wife, they were all like, whoa, that's weird. That's strange. That's nasty. Right? When he married a child, no one blinked an eye, because child marriage was normal back then, right? Marrying a child was like nothing wrong with marrying a child, which is why we don't see people criticizing that part of Muhammad's behavior until far after, right? Much, much later, when our values improved, when we considered marital rape a crime, when we considered child marriage a bad thing for very good reasons, for scientific reasons, because a baby, a woman's hips, a girl's hips are not wide enough for the baby to come out, and she gets painful conditions, she can die, she can get a fistula. So morality has evolved, has improved. We even treat animals now better than ever before. If you harm an animal, like there was a man, he dragged a cat behind his car, you can be charged for that. We care about the well-being of all conscious creatures, right? And if somebody does something wrong, like for example, the US is bombing Afghanistan, and let's say that innocent people are dying, well, that's wrong. We can call that out. And many people protested the Iraq war. Like, we're not saying that, America is perfect or something like that. I mean, we're saying that the system of evaluation has to be, independent of religious belief, because religious belief is very subjective, right? Even though you claim to be objective. And as I was saying about Euthyphro's dilemma, God cannot make something good just because he says it's good. We know it's good because it's good. It's good for the world. It's good for others. We know lying is wrong, right? Dishonesty, because would you want to live in a world where people lie to you and you're lied to? No, you wouldn't, right? So go back to the golden rule. Go back to common sense. Go back to, human thriving, right? It's not that difficult. And I just cringe when I hear these things, right? And then, of course, that little... that childish comment, you might as well delete your TikTok account because we don't take you seriously. Like, that little jab there. I'm not even going to bother responding to that. But you guys need to study secular morality. I'm going to include a link, a really great link on secular morality. Please do check it out. And remember, God cannot make something bad, something immoral, into something moral. Euthyphro's Dilemma, study it, read it, memorize it. It's a knockout punch for theistic morality. It truly is. You cannot defeat it. It's undefeatable. Okay? And just one more last thing. Nobody's saying that, morality, like hedonism or like self-gratification and what's good for me is what's moral. No. It might be okay for me to enjoy my life, but not at the expense of someone else's life, not by hurting somebody else. And that's what we talked about, the moral sphere, right? Like, you cannot, the sphere We have to make it as big as possible so we don't harm others, we don't harm animals, we don't harm the nature and the environment. We want to have, that sphere to be as big as possible and not shrink it down to just ourselves. We only care about ourselves. We want to care about as many people as possible. Again, I'm no expert on this, but this is just my simple thoughts, and I hope you enjoyed it and hopefully learned something. Leave a comment below on what you think about what I said. And of course, if you'd like to support me, do consider joining my Patreon. And thank you to everyone who is supporting me right now. Those names down below, I appreciate all of your support. I truly do. It just makes this so much easier. It helps me to hire people to do the editing, to help with the script work, to do subtitles, so many things. I really do appreciate the financial support from you guys. You guys are the best, especially those of you who have been supporting me from the very beginning. I truly appreciate you. Thank you so much. And for the rest of you heathens out there, please do consider joining me. And leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you again later. This is your friendly ex-Muslim Abdullah Samir signing out.